We are live. There we go. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the stream. I appreciate y'all so very much for being here. See, we got some early people. Love it. I love seeing it. Anybody that's coming in at this time, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to spend with us. Anybody watching it on the replay, likewise, thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. What is going on, Jake? How are you today?
I am good. I am good. I watched a very entertaining game yesterday. Very entertaining.
Yeah, it was
You know
good.
what? Yeah, yes it was.
I liked it. So yeah, let's just jump right into it real quick. What do you like and dislike about that game? Give me some insight, your perspective on that game.
I liked the competitiveness. I feel like we showed that dog type competitive style. So I like the aggressiveness of it. I love that, LeBron had a double double, AD had almost a double double, 2 rebounds away. Um I like the hustle. You know what I really like? The defense in the first half. That was like amazing to me. And not that the defense in the second half wasn't as good. It just the Clippers kind of elevated the level of play a little bit. So as we closed that gap, and we were down by I think 20 at one point, we closed it, kept it competitive. But it's like we were giving up in the second half. We were giving up just a little, too many layups, easy layups, back doors, and things like that. But no, I like the defense. I think the defense is the thing that stands out to me the most, and that I like our assist. I think we had them beat in assist by almost 10, I believe. So yeah, I like the sharing of the ball. It was definitely team basketball last night. It wasn't too many ISO balls. Even if LeBron, he wasn't the ball wasn't really sticking with him as much as we've seen it. So that was healthy. I love that. But yeah, just a team play overall. Russ throwing some lobs to AD, or he threw one lob. Sorry, he threw one lob to AD. Just I love that whole cutting. Everybody find those little tiny snippet passes, when you just cut it right down the lane. And some of the bench players really had confidence in their shot, and I was like, okay, look at
Yeah.
Reeves dribbling down the whole court, doing a little crossover, and then knocking down a jumper. I love that. And Walker, we got to talk about Walker. We have to talk about Walker. My
Walker
goodness,
looked nice.
Walker looked very nice. But yeah, no, those are some of my positives. What about you?
Yeah, so I mean, overall, I really liked what we got out of yesterday's game. It's like we've talked about before. There's good losses and there's bad losses. This was a good
Yeah,
loss.
yes, it
I
was.
thought our defense was great. I thought we took care of the ball. We didn't have a bunch of turnovers like we did in the previous game. We got again solid defense. Russ defensively was getting at it. That was a good
Yeah,
sign. Uh,
yes, he was.
he's got to find ways to score though.
Yeah.
Like 0 of 11, that's unacceptable. But at least he was contributing in other aspects, right? Um,
Yeah.
like old Russ, if he was 0 for 11, he was unplayable. You literally could not play him because he didn't do anything else other than score. But now you got a Russell Westbrook that's playing some solid defense. Like I really like that. Beyond that, like you mentioned, we were sharing the ball. That was really good.
Yeah.
We were allowing ball movement, which is key. Um, just overall, I thought it was a very solid game. Like we never really got out of the game. We were in a position where we could have won and we should have won that game.
Yeah.
And that's all you can ask. We started the season off against arguably the two best teams in the league. And in both of those games, you could look at those games and go, you know what, we could have won those games. Like that's
Yeah.
good. Like the
Clippers more
problem.
than Golden State, but nevertheless.
Yeah, I mean, this one more than goals. But I mean, look, if we even just shot half decent against both of these teams, we win.
Yeah.
Like even Golden State. Like if we just shot, we didn't even have to shoot lights out. If we just shot half decent against
Yeah.
Golden State, we probably win that game. That game might have been over at halftime.
Yeah.
But we just didn't capitalize. And again, yesterday we just didn't capitalize. But there was a lot of really good things that we can build on. Chemistry is going to have to be learned, have to be taught. I really think we're going to have a top 5 to 7 defense. I really do. I think we're going to have a
Okay.
really good defense. I mean, we already have a really good defense. And so
You think we got tired in the second half? You think we got a little
no,
not
because I mean,
lazy, but
I think a lot of it had. I think AD going down hurt, right? Because
yeah,
we were competitive until AD got hurt,
I
and
know.
then
But back, I hate to see it that far.
yeah,
Ugh, ugh,
yeah, and then once AD
yeah,
got hurt, it kind of just like sucked the air out of the building. you know,
Yeah.
and not just that, but then AD wasn't as like aggressive as he was earlier, you
Yeah.
know. So the thing is though is we need other guys to step up. Like that's been our problem. The first two games, it's been a three-man show. First game, it was Russ, LeBron, and AD. And then this game, it was Walker, LeBron, and AD. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to win on just three guys a night giving you 100 points. Like, it's just not going to happen. We
Yeah.
need guys to be able to you know contribute and not like anything crazy. I do think when we get Dennis Schroeder back, Troy Brown, and Thomas Bryant, I do think that they'll help with our depth. One, it'll give us a little more size. Two, Dennis Schroeder is a guy that can give you 10 plus a game, right?
Yeah.
So I think you have him. I think Kendrick Nunn is gonna. He had a bad game yesterday, but I don't think that that's the norm. I think he'll be better. So let's say you get 10 to 15 from Schroeder, 10 to 15 from Nunn,
Okay.
10 to 15 from Walker. I don't think Russ is going to go 0 for 11 again. I mean, even last year, as bad of a year as he had, was he was averaging 18 a game. So let's say he can keep that. Let's say he can give us 18 a game. So right there, just between those four guys, you're talking, at worst, probably 50 points, and then on top of that 50 points, you got LeBron and AD probably
Yeah.
chiming in another 50 points. So
Yeah, that's,
there's,
that's what the really good teams do. You have to spread out the scoring load. Because even
exactly.
if you look at like the Clippers last night, I mean, their big stars didn't have 30 points. Not necessarily. Everybody just kind of like spread out the even scoring load. I mean, I don't think actually, matter of fact, I don't think nobody had above 20 points. I could be wrong, but not from what I remember. No. Yeah, no, I just it's kind of weird to me. Even Toscano, like kind of weird. He was kind of more productive than I've ever seen him
Yeah.
on the Lakers squad. So it was interesting. But
Yeah, defensively, everyone was getting after it, and that's what you want to see. You want to see quality, consistent defense. Um, you know, again, if we can just put it all together, we have all the pieces to the puzzle. We just got to put the puzzle together, right? And same thing with Russ. Like Russ has all the pieces to the puzzle. He's just got to put it together. Like if he can play the defense that he played yesterday and give us that scoring output, even if he's not giving us 20 a game, even as long as he can just give us 15 a game and keep that defensive prowess that he had yesterday, like I think we have a really scary team. And if everyone could put together, I don't think we're going to shoot 20% from three the entire season. I just don't. I mean, LeBron, we know he's a solid shooter. He puts the work in, he
yeah,
puts in the time. He's going to average out eventually. A lot of these guys are going to average out eventually, right? So once everyone averages out and we play the way we played in the first two games, I think we're going to win a lot of games. We just have to average out first. Guys got to start hitting shots. You know, we're not going to be an elite 3-point shooting team. We're not going to be this you know,
well, I don't think we need to be, honestly.
I don't think we need to be
Like
either.
I think we need to like do the basics, like just out rebound the other team. Like the Clippers, I think they
Rebound. Yeah, they
19
killed
or
us on the boards.
20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
19 or
killed us.
20. Not offensive though, defensive, which kind of is weird because we're playing so intense defense. So it's like, do we need help? Do we need help rebounding? Like you know what I mean? It's hard
Yeah,
because like if you get
I
out
mean, we got to
rebounded
team
defensively, I
rebound
mean,
better, and that'll come with chemistry. Because the problem is that like you see teams like Golden State. Golden State has always been small, but they just team rebound really well. Like
yeah,
everyone goes out to the board, everyone
yeah,
boxes out. Like you see it all the time. Like Steph will box out, Gobert and like try to fight for the rebound. Like a lot of times we just weren't boxing out. Like we were too worried about like everything else that was going on and didn't box out, and then somebody'd come in and get the board. Um, I like rebounding, 3-point shooting is probably the biggest thing, biggest holes we have right now.
yeah.
I do think Thomas Bryant will help. He's a guy that can grab boards, high energy, aggressive. So when he comes back, I think he'll be good. Shooting, again, I don't think we're going to be an elite shooting, but I mean, the bubble year that we won the championship, we were 34%. And we won on defense
34% from the three or from
from the
just
three. Yeah, from the
okay.
three. We're 34%.
I think mid range is where our game is
Yeah.
going to be this
Well,
year for
to
sure.
be fair, we were like 34.8% or something like that. So we'll call it 35%. In the bubble, we were 30, just under 35%, right? So if we can get to like 33 to 34% this year, I think we're going to be a pretty good team. I don't like shooting 45 threes a game. I don't understand that. That makes
Well,
no sense to me.
and you know what's funny? We made the exact amount of threes as the Clippers did. Like that to me is funny, but I believe we shot more actually. Way
Yeah,
more.
we shot a lot more. And like
Yeah.
that just we can't do that. Like we're not gonna win games unless guys are shooting just shooting great. We're not gonna win games shooting 40% from three because we're a team that can't shoot. And look, don't get me wrong, offense will get a lot easier. If guys start knocking down threes, I don't think we'll have as much of a trouble um, getting inside the or scoring and just shooting period. And I don't think we'll have to shoot 43s a game because if guys just start knocking down even respectfully from the 3-point line, what that does is that'll open up the paint more because now players got to get out and put a
Yeah.
hand up. Where right
They're
now
not just gonna leave them open. Yeah.
yeah, right now they don't have to. Right now they're just like, hey, jack it up, go ahead, do what you want to do. Like the Clippers were 9 of 29 from three,
Yeah.
so they were 31%,
Yeah.
and we were 9 for 45. So we shot the same amount, but we took almost double the amount of threes. Like it's just not gonna get the job done. We're not winning basketball games shooting 40% or shooting 43s and only shooting 20%. It's just
No, absolutely. And I think even with like okay, like even with like Reeves and some of like the bench players, Walker, like some of the players that aren't known for shooting, they're gonna get left open. Like the biggest thing is like, oh yeah, like we had a lot of great looks last night. A lot. We had a
Yeah.
lot of great looks. But the thing is like here's the thing. If you don't knock them down, like they're not gonna run out at you. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's why I think the historically great shooters, if you're a shooter, people are gonna run at you. You know what I mean? So like I just I would agree. And I do got a question for you. Do you think because what we've seen is like instead of a team being so like star heavy and like relying on the stars to score, do you think like the league is kind of shifting to like you said, kind of like a Golden State where like everybody just kind of I mean it's not always even a Golden State because like Steph is always gonna give you like 30 nowadays, Clay's probably gonna give you 20 and then everybody else is gonna trickle in. But like I can't lie and say what I saw from the Clippers last night was kind of brilliant. I don't know if this was by design. Now, and Kawhi Leonard doesn't even want to play like that many minutes anyway, too.
Yeah.
Because I think he's trying to load manage. But do you think that the league is like slowly shifting into this like, okay, everybody just do their part equally versus the stars are going to be so heavy to like put up big numbers like.
No, I definitely think the league is shifting to two superstars and a bunch of really good role guys, right? I mean, like you look at all the teams in the NBA right now, right? All these teams have, one or two like sort of superstars and then a bunch of role guys, right?
Yeah.
Like, Boston has, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and then it's just a bunch of really good role guys. Golden State, like they have Steph and on paper they have Clay and Draymond and stuff, but they're not the same guys they once were. But they have just such good depth and so many guys that contribute. Jordan Poole's kind of stepping into his own, so that helps. But like they look really good. The Clippers, they have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Like all of these teams have basically two guys, and then it's just like a bunch of really good role players, and then that third guy that really stands out. For example, like with the Celtics, right? You got Marcus Smart. He's not a star, not a superstar, but he's like a borderline. Yeah, he's just quality, like borderline. Take Milwaukee, for example, right? You got Giannis, who's like, superstar, arguably best player in the league, but you have like two mid-tier guys in Chris Middleton and then Jrue Holiday. Right.
Yeah.
You got Chris Middleton, who's an all-star, not a superstar, but he's an all-star. And then you have, Jrue Holiday, who's like has the capabilities of being an all-star, but he's the third guy. Like, so you're seeing that rather than just three superstars on a team. Like look at like the teams that are like the Brooklyn Nets. They got like 3 stars on their team and they're struggling. Lakers, they have 3 stars on the team, they're struggling. It's just you become too top heavy. And the thing is that it worked, back in the day because there wasn't the talent that there is now, right?
Okay.
Like now there's just so much talent in the NBA overall in general that it's that like all the teams that are really good just have such an array of talented players.
Yeah.
So they don't need that third superstar because they have 10 guys that could give you more than that superstar.
So you would
And
take the 10 versus like, let's say just we only had LeBron, AD, and Kyrie, and like a whole bunch of like, I don't want to say trash because in the NBA, nobody in the NBA is trash, but like, not really good quality players, if you will, compared to like the
like
NBA
if we
level.
have the roster we
Or
had
would you
now with
rather take the
Kyrie,
10 guys, 10
I mean, I think
quality
it
guys?
depends on what those guys are. You know what I mean? Like so,
Okay.
like problem is too financially we're so top heavy with LeBron's contract and and then Russ's contract obviously and then Anthony Davis. But like if we had Kyrie and the team we have now, I think we'd be much better. Like
Yeah.
if next season if we re-sign everyone we have now and go get Kyrie Irving, like I think we just I don't know if we I think we'd be a contender, but I think most people would be like no, just because of what Kyrie does, and I think
Yeah.
fit is a big thing too, of course. But I think it depends on what the rotation guys are. So like I would rather have say like next season, like
Yeah.
next off season, if we could sign like and I'm not saying we'll be able to get all these guys, but if for whatever reason, like let's say we could trade Russ and get like like a Boyan Bogdanovic,
Okay.
um, let's say Miles Turner and Gary Trent, right? Like
Okay.
I would rather have those three than Kyrie Irving because you get so much more. You get more production overall because Gary Trent is a guy that can give you 30 a night. Great two-way shooting guard. He's young. He's great for the future. Problem is he's going to be
Not
expensive.
going to take up a whole bunch of
Yeah.
cap space. A
Well,
little
he
bit.
is going to take up. He's probably going to get 25 plus million.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean he was like number 2 in the league last year in 30-point games. He had like more than like Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden. I don't know. There's like a whole list of like all the players that Gary Trent had more 30-point games than last year. And I mean, we'll see how he is this year. But like, if we could get that, then we got like a solid, we got a great 3-point shooter in Boyan Bogdanovic. We got, a young 3-and-D shooting guard in Gary Trent Jr. We got, a Miles Turner who, and I know people are going to say, well, then why don't you just trade for Miles Turner? It's one thing to
It's
sign
because
Miles
it comes with Buddy Hill. That's why.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's just you have to give up assets. It's one thing. Like if we could sign Miles Turner for free right now, I'd say sure, go do it. But we can't. So I don't want to trade assets for Miles Turner. But if we could sign him next season on a reasonable contract, then I'd rather do that. I think it just depends on what those other role guys are. If it's like this offseason and there isn't really anybody, then I'd rather have the Lakers go get Kyrie Irving. Get Kyrie and then figure it out. And because Kyrie, LeBron, and Anthony Davis are dynamic enough to where they could, if they're healthy, they can win you a championship. Even with like subpar role guys, just because they would be a much better fit. And all three of those guys could give you 30, but they could give you 30 within the frame of each other. Where right now, like Russ could go get you 30, but he can't get you 30 with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Like he
cannot.
Where Kyrie, he could go get you 30 with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So that's a big difference too.
And he's proven that he's proven that he can.
Well, he's proven it with Kevin Love.
I'm not calling Anthony Davis freaking Cavs. Kevin Love. I'm not calling, same, but those two can almost wash out at this point. So he's proved that he can do that with 2 stars. So
and I do. I think if we can, I think it just depends on what's out there this free agency because the well for free agency is really drying up. It's drying up fast, right? Half the guys that were free agents next season already aren't going to be free agents. So, and it's probably only going to get worse, right? So the problem is that like this free agency was terrible. And so many people were like, we should have signed better players, but it's like, who? Like there weren't better players out there.
Yeah.
Like we got basically anybody we could have gotten in free agency, this free agency. It just wasn't a good free agency. And so that hurts. And if next season we have the same issue, then, I mean, you might as well get Kyrie Irving and hope that the three of them can stay healthy. And if they can stay healthy, they probably can win you a championship. But I do think
we have 2 first rounds though, so
Yeah. So I mean, I think that I think the NBA is shifting to like two guys to two superstars, and then like have that third guy that can consistently contribute, and then you
Yeah,
just have a bunch of role players that basically do the dirty work. So like, yeah, I think it's going to kind of shift like that even more. You know, because like I said, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even you could do the big three and win a championship because you know
yeah.
the talent across team. Like, think of how many
But even look at
teams.
Miami though. Miami wasn't even. Yeah, you had the big three, but you also had, like you said, a lot of
Got
good like
yeah,
like
role guys.
like people think that the Miami's team was like a bunch of scrubs. I no, like like there some of them were older. They were an older team, but they weren't scrubs by any
Yeah.
means.
They had a bunch of guys that contribute, and that's the thing. Like we have, like the like I said, you look at the scope of the league in general, right?
Yeah,
There are so many good teams in both the West and the East, unlike ever before,
yeah,
right? Like that just shows how much talent there is now. So you can't like so now the impact of having a third star isn't as big because the role guys are just better now, right? So like, you know,
yeah,
like you know, take like Boston's big three, right? Like
yeah,
they were just so good and such a good fit, and you had three stars. Like most teams didn't have enough to keep up with them, you know. And they had great role guys. Don't get me wrong, but like they were able to get away with the big three because they didn't. There wasn't enough talent for most teams to match them,
yeah.
right? And then you know the Lakers, they had you know Kobe Bryant, Andrew Bynum, but they had Lamar Odom, or sorry, Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol, but then they
Yeah.
had Lamar Odom and you know they had you know Derek Fisher, and they
Shannon
had guys
Brown, yeah,
like
Trevor Ariza, yeah,
all these guys, uh, all these guys like really helped kind of cement it. Lamar, you know, Lamar Odom was arguably a star himself. You know,
yeah,
so they kind of had three. It was a different time, and now you have so much talent that you don't need to rely on three guys. And the problem has always been with three guys is that if one gets hurt, you're in trouble. Um,
yeah,
and that's kind of that was the issue last year, right? LeBron and AD got hurt, we were in
exactly,
trouble
yeah,
because you don't have the depth and the talent to maintain when one of those guys go down. And
yeah,
that's going to be the same problem this year. Like, you know, if AD misses 20 games, we're screwed. Like, that's it. You know, if LeBron misses 20 games, we're screwed. That's it. You know, and same thing. Like, if we got Kyrie, it'd be the same thing. You know, if we had, you know, if Kyrie goes down, we're screwed. If LeBron goes down, we're
yeah.
screwed. If AD goes, like, it's a tough spot to be in.
Now, how
But
much of that too would you put on like Darvin Ham? Because like for not playing necessarily the role guys per se to get them like experience and play time. Like let's say LeBron does go down, right? So like how much like is that like it's not necessarily his fault, but like how much do you put that like on Darvin Ham or any coach really per se?
I mean, none. I mean, you can't control injuries.
No, no, no,
So
of course not. But like I'm just saying for not giving the guys more star time. So like, hey, like if one of these guys go down, you guys have to be ready to step up. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's kind of the player's job. Like, because you want your guys, you know, it's the next man up mentality, right?
Yeah,
Darvin Ham has gone deep. But the problem is that, like, if we're not good enough to go deep, you can't go deep. Like, you can't sacrifice win. Like, Golden State has the luxury to where, like, they're like 15 guys deep, like, legitimately, like, and
yeah,
all those guys can
right.
start on other teams, right? So
Yeah,
you can play, you know, 12 dudes that night and still win games because everybody is a legit contributor. Where the
yeah.
Lakers, as of right now, and I still think the bench guys will step up better, but as of right now, it looks like we only have like 4 or 5 guys that can really contribute on a nightly basis. If that's
Right.
the case,
As
you
far as
have no
consistency goes, yes,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So like if that's the case, if we only have like 4 or 5 guys that can on a nightly basis actually contribute, like then we're in trouble. You
yeah,
know, because like chances are AD is going to get hurt. Chances are LeBron is going to get hurt because you're going to have to play them so many minutes. You know,
yeah.
like the Clippers, they only had to play Kawhi Leonard 15 minutes or whatever it was last night because they have enough depth and talent to where they could still win games without Kawhi.
And that's kind of scary. That's kind
Yeah,
of scary. When you got Kawhi and you
that's
don't
why they're
necessarily
so
need to play like Kawhi, like I'm not gonna lie, like the Clippers, they didn't look like amazing, but they looked decent last night. Like
yeah. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, let's say hi to some people in the chat. What's going on, Mr. 81? Appreciate you. It's
What's
Rob's fault. We
up?
suck. It's the players' fault.
Yeah, I don't put that
What's
on
going
Rob
on?
Pelinka at all. No.
Yeah, I mean the players just aren't making shots. Nobody's stepping up. Nobody's contributing. What's going on, Speed? How you doing? I feel
What's
bad for
up?
Russ. He's one of my favorite all time to watch, and see him falling off is sad. Not that he's not a good player, but OKC days are over again. I think he can be on the right team. He's just not a good fit with the Lakers.
I wouldn't say he's falling off by any means. I think last night was just a weird fluke. I mean, who
He's
knows?
not. He's proven he's not an 0-11 guy.
Yeah.
He's not that bad. At least. What's going on, SM? Appreciate you. I like that y'all have the upcoming stream time thing. That way, when I get on YouTube, I know beforehand when y'all about to go live. Well, thank you, 2K. Yeah, just try to. I try to post it. I need to start posting it. I try to post it sooner than I did today. I usually try to post it like the day before, like that morning, but I just had a lot going on behind the scenes, so it was hard for me to get it up. So I got it up like an hour or so before, but I'm glad you look out for that. I appreciate you. What's going on? Salute, SM.
Salute.
The Lakers will sign Jordan Clarkson. I probably not for a couple of years. Russ has it tough. He's giving his all. I agree. He is. Josh Richardson had almost 30 off the bench. He's solid on defense. Yeah, Josh Richardson was great tonight. Hopefully the Spurs win more games, because if the Spurs win more games, that might cause them to panic. so let's hope that we need the Spurs to win more games. Who do you think we will waive if the Lakers sign Harkless? It's probably going to be Matt Ryan. It's kind of the odd man out, because problem is you don't want to waive a wing to get a wing, right? Like you don't want to waive like winning Gabriel to replace him with Mo Harkless. Like I think you need the wings. And like, look, I know a lot of people are like, we need shooting, but there is no shooter that's going to come and save us. So you might as well go full in on defense, be the best defense in the league, and hope that everyone averages out. Because like, yeah, Matt Ryan, he's probably our best 3-point shooter, but he doesn't give you anything defensively, and he's not going to save us unless he shoots 40 shots a game, and shoots at like a 40%. Just, yeah. What else? I'm hyped to see Kawhi play again. Yeah, I always like watching Kawhi play.
That was fun. That was really fun last night. I'm not gonna lie. Him, Paul George. Yeah, that was fun last night. Oh, and freaking I'm sorry, but John Wall. Ugh.
John Wall. Yeah, John Wall was solid for his first game back from injury. He was.
Yeah,
he was solid.
No, he was, and that's why I was like, like I said, I'm a Lakers fan, but it's really hard not to like, these guys are, yeah.
Okay, so I was asked this last night. Would you trade John Wall for Russell Westbrook?
See, my only question is how injury prone is he? But at the moment, from what he showed yesterday, I would, yeah. Not what Russ showed yesterday, because I'm not worried about that, but just going off of yesterday's performance, I would. I think you get a better score, you get a better all around, not necessarily defense wise, but you get a better all around player. I don't think you get more rebounds. I don't think that. I don't even think you get as many triple doubles, but I think necessarily you just get a better score. But someone who can score in all situations. Like he can shoot the three, he can drive, he can pay.
He was 0-4 last night.
Well, yeah, last night he didn't look so good, but he can drive. He can facilitate. Like he makes the right play. So I would trade. What about you? Would you?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
That's interesting.
I mean, look, I just think Russ gives you more as a whole. I think the fit would be just the same. I think
career-wise, or like lately though, like
no, I'm talking about even right now. I'm saying I think the fit, John Wall's fit with LeBron and Davis is going to be the same as Russell Westbrook. The only difference is that John Wall probably would be willing to come off the bench and stuff. So there's probably that. Like John Wall would probably be more flexible, I guess. So that would probably be the one benefit. But you're going to get the same type of shooting. John Wall isn't a great shooter. Like maybe he goes 0 of 6 or 1 of 6 instead of 0 of 6 like Russ, but he's not that much shooting. But you get a better rebounder in Russ. You get basically the same. Russ averaged 18 a game last season, and in his first game put up 19. John Wall put up 15. So I just think you get more from Russ.
What about Wizards John Wall though? Like prime John Wall.
No, I think prime Russ is overall better than prime John Wall.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. None has to play better. He had one great preseason game, and he has been trash ever since. He's got to play better. He really does. The first 2 regular season games were not very good. But like I said, I think a lot of these guys are going to average out. I just think it's start of the season, 2 games. You have a lot of teams that are struggling right now, just in general. So I don't think it's as big of a deal as it may seem. The Brooklyn win. So Brooklyn ended up winning today, but they looked terrible in their first game. Denver got blown out. There's a lot of teams right now that they're not looking very good. So I do. I think it's just you see it. It usually takes teams about 5 to 10 games to really get into the swing of things. So I think about 5 or 10 games into the season, we'll have an idea of how good or bad this team really is. We are not a half decent shooting team, therefore we shouldn't expect it. Yeah, but we should expect them to shoot around 32, 33%, which is pretty much everyone's average, which would be half decent.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we can ask for that. We can't ask for 50, but we can ask for 30.
If we're expecting them to shoot, 35%, 36% from 3, then it's an impossible ask. But to ask basically everybody to just shoot their career averages or around their career averages, that would put us at like a 32%, 33% overall. And I think that that's more than enough to be good, especially if we play solid defense. We can't afford to buy out Russ. I'd take Josh Richardson, McDermott, and Porto for Russ 27, first 2 seconds, and 8 picks. What do you think?
Josh Richardson, McDermott, Porto for Russ.
So Josh Richardson, you get a still young 3-and-D shooting guard. McDermott, you get a 3-point shooter, and then with Portal, you get like a low scoring, dump the ball down, like 15-10 guy.
See, which Russ can do both of those things. The thing is, like, I feel like we keep saying Russ can, but like Russ needs to do. You know what I mean? And just like how long are we as the Laker fan base gonna just like keep waiting for Russ to like? We know Russ can do these things, and we know he's probably better than both of those players combined easily. But it's like if a trade like that came out, it would be hard not to at least entertain it. I would still wait it out. I don't think I would trade just because I would want to give Russ the benefit of the doubt because that fixes our shooting problem. But are they good on defense? Can they rebound like Russ? You know what I mean? It just there's other questions to be answered. You know what I mean? I feel like where you gain shooting, you lose other things if you're going to give up Russ. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so a lot of people really like the Spurs deal. I don't, because the problem is we need to play faster, not slower, and we're getting a center that cannot shoot at all. Can't shoot free throws. He's like 42% from the free throw line, something like that. So you get a guy that is a low post, slow type of center, and we need to play fast because we don't have shooting. So we got to go. Josh Richardson and McDermott, I think, would help, but I don't think that those two are worth giving up the 27 first and 2 seconds and a pick swap. Like I know a lot of people really want Jacob Portal, but it doesn't make any sense with the team we have. We don't have a slow it down, dump the ball down type team. We need to run. And every time we try to operate it in the half court, it just doesn't work. Even when Russ is not on the court, like we just aren't very good in the half court. And so we need centers that can spread out, run the floor. Like at least Damian Jones, Winning Gabriel, Thomas Bryant, at least those are guys that can run the floor, Anthony Davis. And so that's why we have success when they move fast. But yeah, like I don't think we shouldn't get all 3. And we'd also have to include other guys too, because we have our rosters full. So, but I don't think that this is a good enough trade for our picks. I really like Josh Richardson. I do, but I don't think he's saving the day. But I want Russ to go back to Washington. They appreciate him over there. I do too. I think he does. Like if he either after this season or if he gets bought out, I think he goes back to Washington.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, it was one game. He won't play that bad again. Agreed. I apologize about what I said yesterday with Russ. I was no question wrong for that. Just not justifying it by any means, but was in my feelings also at the moment. But it will be the first and last time. Well, 21 Savage, I appreciate you. Like I said, I don't think you're a bad person. And I understand you were in your emotions and you were upset. But there's right ways to project yourself and wrong ways. But I do respect and appreciate your apology. I really do. That is very, very mature of you. Like I said, I don't care if you say you hate Russ. Say whatever you want about. You can say whatever you want, but don't wish harm on people. That's my only thing. But again, I appreciate you. I do. I value our conversations. We disagree more times than we agree, but nonetheless, I do appreciate our conversations. I do appreciate you. I just, there's right ways and wrong ways. You know what I mean? But I appreciate your apology. Seriously. Thank you. What else? Bro, it was 72 games last year. Russ just can't shoot. We don't need him to shoot. We just need him to be effective. I agree he struggles, but if he's open, I still want him to take those shots. Agreed. He just needs to stop forcing threes. I agree. Look, I will never blame a guy, I don't care how bad he shoots, for taking a wide open three. You got to take those shots. If you're wide open, you got to take those shots. It's the same thing.
You do.
Yeah, it's the same thing that all the analysts and everybody were saying about Ben Simmons, because Ben Simmons refused to shoot. And the reason you have to shoot those shots is because if you don't, it ruins everything. You mess up the flow. Because guys are waiting for you to take that open shot. So they're boxing out, shot clock's winding down. You don't take that shot. Now you're forced into taking a panic shot or shot clock expiring or just a bad possession in general. Like, right, we saw it a couple times last night. Like, Russ got the ball. He could have taken the shot. He was like, I'm 0 of 4. Let me try to create something. And it led to, like, a late shot clock shot, or it led to just a bad possession. And that's why you have to shoot the shot. So I don't mind Russ shooting the ball. Even if he goes 0 for 6 for the rest of the season, if he's wide open, he has to take those shots. Now, forcing it, like great example was in the Warriors game, right? He got the rebound. He could have went right back up into the defense. But instead, he decided, it would be better for me to dribble it out and do a, fadeaway corner three. Those kind of threes, I will get on Russ's helmet for. You know what I mean? Like that's stupid. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But if he's just wide open and they're letting him shoot the ball. If you have to, take a step in and shoot the ball. But shoot the ball. You're wide open. Take the shot. Yeah. Do you agree?
No, I agree, because the thing is, if you don't take that shot, what it also does is it crowds the lane more too. So like if they know you're not going to shoot it, what are they going to do? They're going to stand back. What that does, that frustrates AD and LeBron and anyone who else is down there, because they're trying to get the rebound. Like you said, they're trying to box out. They're potentially trying to get a second second point. So I think you have to shoot it. And two, like I know these are NBA players we're talking about, but you just think about confidence. You know what I mean? If you know you're open and you just tell yourself, I'm probably not going to make this, I probably shouldn't shoot the shot, so you don't, that's going to mess with you. And I think what Ben Simmons is going through right now is like, it's probably a tough to come back from, but I feel like either he's going to have to just shoot every single chance he gets, or just, learn to get over it, because I mean, the confidence thing is a huge booster. No, but I agree. I agree, because the thing is, you think about it like this. Let's say you're down 3, right? And it's a pressure situation. Fourth quarter, game's on the line, and you pass it out to Russ. Russ is the only player open, and you don't take that shot. Like you know what I mean? It just like you said, it messes up so much things. And you could have just tied it up for the championship. Who knows? But like, I just think that like, at the end of the day, you still play in the NBA. You still have the capability and the capacity to knock down the shot. Just take the shot. You know what I mean? Like this game is filled with misses and makes. You know what I mean? It's a game of misses and makes. They're not all going to go down. Like LeBron said yesterday, everybody has had bad shooting nights, but the important fact, like you've said many times, is that you keep shooting, right?
Yeah.
So you should keep shooting, and it's as simple as that, I think.
Yeah, it's good shot. There's good shots and bad shots.
No one's gonna be like, Russ, you took an open three. Why? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
You got to shoot the shot. Well, and not just that, but like you gotta, because if he hits a couple of those, now it opens up everything. Because now the defense
Exactly.
has to stay honest. He just that night he didn't hit it. It also doesn't help when your home fans are booing and gasping at you every time you shoot a three. Like that doesn't help your confidence either.
That's why,
when
like
you're trying
Reggie
to-
Miller too. Like Reggie Miller made a comment on
Yeah,
commentary yesterday when I was watching the game. He said, "It was like I don't know how Russ can function in this environment. Like
yeah,
I see where he's coming from on that because that's messed up. Like you're at home. This is your team. You know what I mean? And every
yeah,
time you go to shoot the ball, your fans are like, oh no,
yeah,
like
booing you or
it's
gasping
it's
or whatever.
frustrating. You expect that when you go to the away crowd. You don't expect that from your home fans and your home
Well, if
team.
you
Like
look up Russ's if you look up Russ's 3-point shooting, but at home and away, he's so much better shooting the ball when he's not at Staples Center. So
not
much
to
better.
not to mention last season, I believe if I'm correct, he had the best shooting percentage on the entire team. I believe last season.
Well, from the corner three, he
Yeah.
did. Um, but yeah, he had a corner three. Was he shot like 54%, something like that. He shot like 60% on the road or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's the thing. Like when you're on the road, you're expected to get booed, and all you want to do is just like, oh, I can't wait to shut these people up, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. But like when you're talking about your home team, like you feed off of that positive energy. You feed off of everyone
Exactly.
cheering your name. It's just a big different thing.
What you want is everybody chanting three once it goes up. You know what I mean? Like that's
Russ 27-29 first, winning for Rozier, Oubre, Hayward, or if we can get PJ Washington shooting wing defense. I like the Hornets trade over all the trades that are rumored right now.
Scary Terry.
My only concern is Hayward's health. He's not if I think Hayward would be a perfect fit on this Lakers team. A guy that can play defense, you can run your offense through, can shoot the ball, can do a little bit of everything. He's like a Swiss Army knife. Like how we talked about that third guy,
Yeah.
that Marcus Smart, that Drew Holiday kind of guy. That's Gordon Hayward if he can stay healthy. Problem is the last few years he just cannot stay healthy.
No.
And he's owed way too much money. And as good as he can be, like we need people that can stay on the court. We already have concerns with Anthony Davis and LeBron James and stuff. I just I have my concerns. But PJ Washington, if we could get like Rozier, Oubre, and Washington,
yeah,
I wouldn't give up both first, but I'd give up a first.
Okay.
Because you got to keep in mind we're taking long-term salary in Rozier.
Yeah.
We're taking we're
injury
giving
prone.
you an opportunity to tank for Victor. And so like if we're basically, you have two things that we're greatly helping and benefiting you on, and on top of that, you're giving us that. PJ Washington, like the only reason I'd give up a first period is because of PJ Washington. Now, if we got Rozier, Oubre, and Hayward, we shouldn't. You can make an argument they should give us a pick because you're taking a ton of long-term salary. You're basically wiping the Charlotte Hornets books entirely. You're taking on an injury-prone player. You're helping them. You're taking all of their good players to go tank for Victor. It's just like that outweighs Russ heavily. If we could get Rozier, Oubre, and Hayward without any first-round picks, like say we give 2 or 3 seconds, then I would do it. I would take my chance on Hayward. What are you saying?
No. That's a good trade, but like I do agree with how the 2 first. But like not to mention, like if they get Victor, then you got Victor and LaMelo. You know what I mean? And like if LaMelo stays there, you know what I mean? So like, wait, what would you give up for Ball? I'm curious.
For LaMelo Ball?
Yeah,
I'd give up whatever they want.
I was wondering like how much value do you see in LaMelo?
I would like people might think this is crazy, but I would give up AD 2 firsts and like whatever you want.
That's not crazy. That's really not crazy, and I understand why you would say that.
Look, I think Anthony Davis is a better all-around player than LaMelo Ball, but
yeah, of course. LaMelo's still young.
Anthony Davis is only getting older. 2, he's injury prone. 3, he doesn't look like he can be a franchise guy right now. And unless that changes, I wouldn't do that. If you could get, you basically have your point guard / shooting guard of the future. Like, why wouldn't you trade them? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think paired with paired with like a vet like LeBron, it would be a good matchup.
Russ got alligator hands. That's what his name is now, Rust. Alligators can't drive. That was a good one. I like that. Russ should only shoot the corner three. Other than that, if they leave him open, he needs to drive to the basket. Problem is, if they leave him open, he can't drive to the basket. That was the problem yesterday because everybody's in the paint.
Yeah.
Like if you look, if you go, like there's like a viral photo going around right now where like Kawhi Leonard is just literally staring and waiting at the bat, and like the entire Clipper team is in the paint. Like so, like could he like step in and pull up for a mid range? Sure, but he's not very good from that either. So it's like you might as well just shoot the three because if your odds of making it are the same, I'd rather you shoot a three because if you make the three, you give us an extra point than if you make the two.
Yeah.
Problem is he can't really drive. The trade I pitched yesterday was Rozier, Oubre, PJ, Oubre, McDaniels for Russ, and Gabriel first at a pick swap. I wouldn't mind something like that. That wouldn't be terrible at all. Yeah, like if something like that could happen, I wouldn't mind that. I would do that deal tomorrow. Problem is I don't think we can because we'd have to include somebody else, and we'd have to waive. So we'd have to waive Matt Ryan, so that frees up a roster spot. So let's say that roster spot goes to Rozier, Winion's roster spot goes to PJ, Russ's roster spot goes to Oubre. We need a roster spot for McDaniels. So we'd have to include like a Troy Brown or somebody like that, which we can't do till like December. But yeah, I mean, you could make it work. You defend Russ too much. It's time to throw the rest of the rights away. I defend Russ because he deserves defending. You trash on Russ too much. Exactly. He's just not in his prime. You can't expect him to play. I think Rob Pelinka has a master plan. Let's see what we got to make the best trade, not the fast trade. Exactly, Riverside. I'm with you. It's not about the best trade. It's about it's not about the fastest trade. It's about the best trade. Right now our options aren't, plentiful. But they'll only get better as the season progresses. You might as well just wait and ride it out. I would say Chris and Drew are above middle tier. Well, I said Chris Middleton is an all-star. And then Drew Holiday, I think he's above middle tier, but he's middle tier right now because he's the third option on the Bucks team. Like he's proven like when he's like the number one or number two, he's above mid tier. People forget Drew on the Sixers was nice. Like he was real
Drew.
Nice.
Nasty Drew.
People forget. Let them know. What's going on, y'all? How are you? Honestly, y'all two will end up going up as one of the greatest Laker host live streams. We appreciate it. Yes, thank you. Very kind of you. Russ was in the MVP conversation 2021. Yeah, with the Wizards, he was. Would you trade for Lauri Markkanen, Vanderbilt, Mike Conley for Russ plus first at first? I would, but they won't do it. We've tried.
Yes.
I would do that. I would do that tomorrow.
Yes.
But the problem is
because the cap roster too, we would need to include someone as well too with that.
Yeah,
as well, right?
But in that case, you're getting Vanderbilt and you're getting Lauri Markkanen. You trade, you throw in Winning Gabriel. There you go, and now you got the deal done. I just don't think they would ever do that. But I mean, Utah keeps winning. So like I don't know. Did they win today? I don't know if they won today. But
they're playing Golden State. I thought.
They won. They beat Minnesota. So they beat.
Oh no,
Denver
sorry.
They beat Minnesota and they beat Denver. Like Utah's winning basketball games, man.
Well, for them to beat Denver is actually impressive. I think.
Yeah, they blew Denver out. They beat Denver by 20.
Yeah. That's impressive to me because it's Denver.
I don't know. Utah might just say we need to blow this up. Like they might actually be too good. But let's see.
The Warriors are down right now. Actually, by the way.
Are they?
Yeah, they're down by like 10 before the half. Yeah.
If the Hornets could trade Hayward and Rozier for Russ, they absolutely would do you know how much money they would save. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They would save a ton. I just don't think the Lakers want to do it.
So you think the only reason that the Hornets would actually make that trade is to like empty ship for Victor?
Yeah, basically tank and clear your salary. I mean, you clear basically your entire books. Like literally. Like you literally you basically have a fresh, clean start with probably the best odds to go get Victor.
They better keep LaMelo. They better.
Yeah, I mean, if you have LaMelo and Victor and the most cap space in the league, you're probably going to be really good in a year or two. Really
go get a whole like we say, go get a whole bunch of good role guys, like a whole bunch to surround those two. A really good third option.
Yeah. Or Westbrook won first when he gave up plus massacre season with 3 for Damian Lillard, Jeremy Grant. I would love that. I just don't think they're gonna trade.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be sweet.
I wouldn't mind going after if the Blazers are terrible, I wouldn't mind going after Jeremy Grant and Nurkic. Like if they decided to blow it up. As it stands, should Darvin Ham give Max Christie minutes? I think so. Not a ton of minutes, but I wouldn't mind them having him.
More than
giving
he
him,
has.
Giving him a handful of minutes every game.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. I don't know much about Mo Harkless. What can he bring to the table for LA? Solid wing defense, size on the perimeter. Shooting wise, he's not going to give you a ton of shooting. He's not going to give you. He's 32% from 3 for his career, but he gives you a guy that's 6'7", 6'9" with shoes on, 7-foot wingspan with size. So he's a guy that can play the 3, he can play the 4. Certain matchups you could probably even slot him in at the 5 spot. We're playing the Warriors and Draymond's running the 5. He could match up against Draymond really good. He's got the size to stick with it. It just gives us a solid perimeter defender that can rebound and defend. Shooting, we're not going to get shooting.
We need that so bad.
Yeah, but there's not really shooting out there. It's kind of one or the other. You either get elite shooting or elite defense. And I'd rather have the defense because that's kind of where we're at right now. Because one shooter isn't going to save us, but us having a lockdown defense is just that's stuff crazy. A lockdown shooting defense would save the day. Because
even just looking at last night, we gave up 20-something points from the 3rd. You know what I mean? It's just nobody was really getting out. We need length for sure on the perimeter.
Yeah,
guys who can slide quickly.
Do the Lakers players know their shooting is terrible? Stop shooting. We get buckets in transition. We know how Lakers would be if we stop shooting and played through their strength. We need to run more. I don't know why we get away from just running, because every time we run, it shows good things happen. I feel like Jake is trying to meet
I'm sorry, guys. Maybe it's the glasses. Maybe I don't know. My bad.
Love your channel. Well, thank you, Marzo. I appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Seriously, thank you. I ain't calling him Russ. I ain't either. Even when people put Westbrook,
that's crazy.
I always say Westbrook. I'm always like, oh, Westbrook.
That's crazy.
You guys are great. Like, share, and subscribe, people. That is right. Don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Trying to grow it. We appreciate all of you handing out for sure. But do you know if the Lakers have more trade options as of right now, or just the Pacers, Hornets, and Spurs? So the only deal we know for certain that could happen today is the Pacers trade.
The Pacers
deal, yeah. The Hornets and the Spurs trade are just rumors. We don't have confirmation. We have sources that have said hey, the Lakers could work a deal out if they wanted to. But the only team that actually has an offer, here is an offer on the table, it's yours, is the Pacers deal. So that's what that's kind of the only deal that we could make right now, which Miles Turner is hurt and missing at least a week. We gotta just wait. We gotta be patient.
Yeah.
The argument that I heard with the Russ Boo thing was that he did it to himself. I can't agree or disagree with that. I don't know. It's confusing. Look, at the end of the day.
Well, okay. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just want. Okay, I need it. I don't understand how he would do that to himself. Again, everybody has like I wouldn't say a bad season, bad game, but like I don't wouldn't go as far as to say like he did it to himself. I mean, like he's not trying to make himself the bad guy. I mean, he's Russ, so like he's gonna always be Russ. You know what I mean? And that's what he said in the interview. It's just like he said he's been him his whole career. You know what I mean? Now, because he's gone to a different team where it forces him to play different, I wouldn't necessarily say that like he did it to himself. I don't know. The Lakers fan base, that's rough though. Like I would expect something like that from like Boston. You know what I mean? Well, like even like with Ben Simmons, like my goodness, Ben Simmons, they let Ben Simmons have it. Like
Yeah, Philly was going.
yeah,
Nuts.
Philly, but that's like that culture though. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of shocked that LA's given that to him. I could see if he was in Boston, if he was in Brooklyn, or if he was in Philly, it would make sense. But like in LA, it's just kind of shocking that they're honestly, so rough.
The way I look at it is like, at the end of the day, he's on the team. So like, why would you want him to fail? Because if he fails, then the Lakers fails. Then the Lakers fail. But if he succeeds and he's good, then guess what? The Lakers are probably going to be good. I just don't understand the logic the other way. Like, Russ sucks, so therefore the Lakers is like, why? Like, let's see what he can do. Like, let's see. If anything, I want him to be good because if he's good, then the Lakers are going to be good, right? Like, because then we have a legit 3 guys that can really sort of change the scope of things.
Yeah.
But look, it's 2 games. There are plenty of teams right now that are great or good that are 0-2. So like we're pretty good. We played arguably the 2 best teams in the league, and you can walk away from both of those games and say, you know what, we should and could have won those games. Like that's all you can ask for, right? Especially early on. Hopefully,
and I wasn't validating the whole like booing. It's just those cultures. That's what that's how they are.
Yeah. Hopefully by November, because of the Victor thing, we contending starter caliber players or players. I think so. I think you're going to see a lot, and I could be completely wrong, but I really think you're going to see a lot of like tradable guys that you never thought were tradable guys. Like I think you're going to see role guys that you're like, really, like that guy got traded for peanuts. Like just because you're going to have teams are going to want to be a sample size, right? Like if Utah, like what if Utah goes like, like I don't know, 15-5 through the first 20 games. I mean, they beat Minnesota, they beat Denver. So like, what if they go 15-5 over the next first 20 games? They might not be able to tank. You know what I mean? So they might be looking at it as like, all right, well, there goes that. Like I just think it's going to depend on where everybody's at.
Wait, who do you think is like first? Like, give me like who do you think is like first on the chopping block? I mean, don't get me wrong, like. Once these teams start giving up like really good players, I'm sure that like most of our roster is like eligible to be on the chopping block. But like, who do you think is like first, like couple first to go? Like, my mind, I immediately
our team.
No, on our team, yeah, like for trades, because my mind immediately goes to like Toscano. Even though last night he was,
I think they'll keep Toscano just because of his size and defense. He's really good defensively.
I mean, he was decent last night. He scored 8. I mean, that was more than most people on our most people on our roster. So.
Like I think Russ, I wouldn't be shocked if we end up flipping Patrick Beverley if the right trade comes along. Because Patrick Beverley is our only like sizable contract that's reasonable. Yeah. I don't think they're just going to trade Patrick Beverley to trade Patrick Beverley, but I think like if we could get like a solid like for example, like if we could trade Patrick Beverley for Josh Richardson, I think the Lakers would do it. Because they'd be like, oh, we get a younger guy that is going to give us more production. Like, let's do that. Like, I do think I just think it depends on what the deal would be. But I think our first ones that would be shipped out would be like Wenyen Gabriel. Maybe Damian Jones, Troy Brown, depending on how he plays when he gets back. Like, I think like the end rotation guys, I think are going to be very likely the guys.
Okay.
But all right. Lakers are done. See you next season when we get to Kyrie. The Lakers aren't done. It's 2 games. We'll be all right. I love the overreaction from the last couple games. I agree. It's every year people go get something to say, and by the end of the season, the thought mysteriously vanished. Yeah, look, it's that thing. Like we're gonna be. If we win the next 5 games, you'll see a complete other overreaction. It won't be overreaction to like us suck. It'll be overreaction to like, oh, we're really good. Look, like My thing is like, let's play. Can we play like
Playoffs
20?
bound.
Yeah, can we play like that's it? We're a contender. We're winning the championship this year, like because we beat Portland. Like no, like let's get a couple games in our belt. I don't like if we beat Portland by 40, on Sunday. I don't care. Like I want like what are we doing at like how did we look? Again, right now early into the season, how do our wins and losses look? How did we win? How did we lose? Did we win just because we were shot the lights out and we're probably not going to be able to replicate that? Or
Yeah,
did
exactly.
we win because we were dominant? Our defense was great. We were solid. We were making rotations. We were making the big plays. We were knocking down shots. We were doing, you know what I mean? Like, it just depends on how we look.
And that's why last night would have been like a really good win if we would have won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's early in the season. Teams are still trying to like figure it out. But 20 games, if we win 75% of those games, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think so too. The Jazz beat the Wolves. An interesting way to take for a win, but I know. That's what I'm saying. But this is my point exactly. This is why Danny Ainge is an idiot. Like, it's silly. Because he had an opportunity to blow this team up and be probably the worst team to go tank for Victor and actually get solid assets in return. But instead, he decided to poorly tank, make 2 deals that were worse deals, and now look, now he's 2-0 and just beat 2 really good teams. Like 2 like legit playoff teams. Like what's going to happen if he wins? If they win the next,
I know the
5 or
Timberwolves
6
aren't Timberwolves aren't no scrubs.
Dude, that's what it's like. They just beat 2 really good teams. Like, it's like you said, like, what an interesting way to take for Victor. I've always liked Mo Harkless, and I don't know why. I like Mo Harkless. He's a solid player. He's a guy that gets after it, a guy that he'll do the dirty work. When do you think it's best to make a trade? I mean, when the deal is on the table, when you get a reasonable deal, like if somebody comes out of the woodworks right now, like I would take the deal. It just depends on when is it. Like this kind of ties into this question where it's like, what trade would you do right now? Like to answer kind of both of these in the same breath is that like the Hornets deal, like if the Hornets have a reason, like if that could be a deal like on the table, boom. Like and it's a reasonable return, I would do that. Like out of all the deals that are rumored right now, so like what trade would you do right now? Like out of all the deals right now, I would do the Hornets deal. I think the package changes depending on if we get PJ Washington or we get Gordon Hayward.
Okay.
If we got PJ Washington and Gordon Hayward, I still think the package changes because you're taking on Gordon Hayward's long-term salary and just the risk of injury is just so high. So, but like I said, if we could do, if the Hornets called us right now and we're like, hey, we'll give you Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington, and Gordon Hayward for no firsts. We just want 2 seconds. I would do that.
No Terry in there?
No, I said Terry Rozier.
Oh, sorry, you did. Sorry, I didn't hear you say Terry. My bad.
Terry Rozier, PJ Washington, and Gordon Hayward. Right. So no Kelly Oubre. No Kelly Oubre. And the reason I think the Hornets would maybe do something like this is Kelly Oubre is an expiring contract. So you basically that money falls off the books, right?
Okay.
Unless you can work it out to where you get all 4. But if you could get Terry Rozier, PJ Washington, and Gordon Hayward for no first round picks, and it's just like 2 seconds or something like that, and I would do that. I would do that right now because the reward is greater than the risk. Like right now, if we had to give up, 2 firsts for and take back Gordon Hayward, it makes no sense because the reward doesn't outweigh the risk, and you're stuck. Where if you have your 2 firsts, you can move some of these guys. Like Terry Rozier would have value to the right team, right? Gordon Hayward, like if you included a first, teams would take him. And then PJ Washington, you could probably get a first for PJ Washington. And so from the Hornets standpoint, they'd be looking at it as we move off of all of our long-term salary. Yes, we're giving up PJ Washington, but the Hornets try to trade PJ Washington like 3 times. So they clearly don't value him that much. So, we move off of PJ Washington, but we have a real chance to try to go and get Victor. We have no salary basically outside of LaMelo Ball come next season. Like I think like that would be a deal that everybody wins. Lakers get some solid pieces. Gordon Hayward would be a great fit, but now you can kind of weather that injury concern.
But
Because
you would
now
have to trade 4 though. So who would you trade?
No, I'm saying like so like you'd have 3 players. Russ eliminates one, so you got 2 players. You can waive Matt Ryan and then just like include Winning Gabriel. You
Oh,
know what
I see
mean?
what you're
So,
saying. Okay.
yeah, so like if you did that, now if you like I don't know if the money works off the top of my head. It probably doesn't. I probably have to look it up. But like if they were to throw in Kelly Oubre,
Yeah.
then yeah, we'd have to unload. We'd have to give up a couple guys. Like if in December we could like if in December we could trade Patrick Beverly,
Yeah.
because I think we have to wait till December. I think is what it is because it's like 3 months, right? So, but yeah, let's say whenever Patrick Beverly becomes available to be traded, like if we could do Patrick Beverly and if we could do Patrick Beverly, Winning Gabriel, and Russell Westbrook for like PJ Washington, Kelly Oubre, Gordon Hayward, and Terry Rozier, basically just take all of their guys, all the rotation guys. If we could do that, I would do
Yeah.
that. I would do this
That would-
bet this time last year.
Scary team. That would be a scary team.
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
now you got depth at every position, and you got legit shooting. Because now you have depth at the wing with Gordon Hayward and Kelly Oubre. You have depth on in your front court with PJ Washington, who could play the 4, which is great for you. You could either start or come off the bench. You got great. You continued your guard depth with Terry Rozier. Now you got a guy that could get you 20 a night again. I think that no matter how you slice, like that would be a solid deal. Solid deal. I think the deadline is when you make the trade. Yeah, agreed. Sixers and Heat are 0-2, but only people bring up the Lakers. Exactly. I don't think the Heat are going to be very good this year. I don't. I've said that from day one. I don't. I think they make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to be very good. I think they're going to regress a lot. I think LA and Philly.
That bubble year was a fluke.
Yeah. What do you guys like about Darvin Ham so far? I mean, the way that these players have bought in, his defense of schemes, and how he's got these guys buying in. I mean, Anthony Davis said it best. Like Darvin Ham's a guy that makes you want to run through a wall for him. Like that. Like he has these guys believing, which is good. You need that from your coach. That's probably my best. Also, his out of timeout play calling is impeccable. Dude, that guy, like, start paying attention. Like when you watch the Laker game, start paying attention to the play sets we run out of the timeout.
Okay.
We score. I don't think we've not. I even saw a stat on it. I know against the Warriors, we scored every possession out of a timeout. We went on runs every possession out of a timeout. I believe we did the same thing against the Clippers. But nonetheless, even if we didn't do the same thing to the Clippers, we scored most of the time. Like whatever Darvin Ham like instills when he calls a timeout works. So yeah. So whatever that is. What about you? You have anything specific?
No. I was gonna say no. You hit all the points. Another thing is too, like he focuses on kills. It's pretty much just 3 defensive stops in a row. That's gonna help us. That's gonna help us out like so much because that's what like he really cares about on defense. If we can get 3 defensive stops in a row, it really puts like a little in their like in their momentum. And like any team really, honestly.
Do you think the Nets will come around and take our deal to send him to LA hypothetically if the Nets implode and it's becoming clear it's a failed experiment? I actually do. I actually think if come the trade deadline, the Nets, like let's say the Nets are 500 or something like that, or like let's say they're like the 7th seed or 8th seed, I actually think the Nets will blow it up because at that point you almost have to, right? Because you're probably not winning the championship this year. Kevin Durant's going to want out again. And then Kyrie Irving, he's probably going to walk. And if he walks, you have no salary cap to replace him. You get no assets for him to leave. I think come the trade deadline, I think if you're the Nets and you're not good, unless they just completely turn it around, which it's not like they're like it's drama that's causing them. They just don't look. They're just not. They can't stop anybody. They can't play defense, and they're not playing well enough.
I'm telling you, they look confused out there. Like really,
they don't look good at all. And so if that is a trend this season, I think I do. I think the Net. I don't think the Nets will have a choice. I mean, unless you're that just silly and stubborn. Like if you're that silly and stubborn, then sure. But I think you have like if you're not like a legit contender, if you're this in a play-in position, you got to blow that up. You know, I wouldn't trade Kevin Durant. Like I wouldn't trade Kevin Durant until the offseason.
No.
Unless somebody just offers you the world, because I think you'll have more teams. I think you'll get better packages in the offseason, like than you would at the trade deadline, because teams are going to know, especially if you unload Kyrie, teams are going to know like okay,
exactly
like
what you're doing.
Yeah, you're desperate. You're trying to unload everybody. We're not going to give you the stars, but you know you're going to have teams that are going to like the Suns. Like let's say the
Nobody
Suns
wants to
are
help the Nets out right now. Not with Kyrie,
exactly.
like Kevin Durant. Not right now.
No, absolutely. Teams would take Kevin Durant, but like say the Suns lose in the first round, so that means they've had 2 straight underperforming seasons. I could see the Suns saying like, let's just give the Nets whatever they want for Kevin Durant, because Chris Paul is only getting older. We're not doing good. We need to shake things up. We're gonna have a new owner, new everything. Kevin Durant will be much more appealing to a new ownership. All of that stuff. Like I do. I think.
Tell me this though: if they have the cap space for Kevin, Paul, and Booker, do they get to the championship that year?
Yeah, if they have those 3, I think they have a good chance.
Okay.
You know, I think it depends, one, what they give up.
I wonder if Aiden's going anywhere. Sure.
No, they'll trade Ayton. So, like, very likely what it would be, because they were going to do that before Indiana called their bluff. So, very likely what it would probably be like Ayton, Mikal Bridges, and, you know, like 3 or 4 first-round picks or something like that. They probably throw in an add-in or something, you know, throw in some guy, whoever. But that'll probably be what the package is centered around. Probably be Bridges, Ayton, and then, you know, a couple assets, maybe even Cam Johnson. Maybe they give up Johnson. And then you get Kevin Durant.
I like Cam, though.
Yeah, I do too. But you get Kevin Durant.
I think he's a crucial piece for them, so, like, I don't know.
Well, and like people might be thinking, like, there's no way that they would do that. But here's the thing. Like I said, you're going to have a new owner. Like, you're trying to sell the team. So you want to make it as appealing as possible from a business sense. And the most appealing thing possible, it would be Kevin Durant. So they might do the trade just to do the trade, just to sell the team. So that's something else.
They might try to ship Ayton off away after that too, because I don't think they want the locker room. Well, they don't want. Let's say the Nets did get Ayton, they don't want the locker room issue that comes along with Ayton. Not right now, I don't think.
Yeah. I'd say it depends on how the roster look or the team looks. About like 10 to 15 games in. Like if 10 to 15 games in, if we're like 3-12, then yeah, it's time to worry. That means we're bad, and now it's time to start really looking at stuff. But you see it all, like you've seen it all the time. Like a great example was like, you know, and I'm not saying that they're as good as this team, but a great example was Miami, right? When Miami was first put together with LeBron James and everybody, they started the season like 7-9, like, you know, and they looked terrible. People were like, "Oh, this isn't going to work. Look at this." They were freaking out. And then they completely turned it around and at one point went on like a 23-game win streak or something like that. Like, again, I'm not saying this team is anywhere close to the talent level that is, but you got to give it time. Like, my point is, like, usually 15 games, 10 to 15 games is usually enough to gauge, okay, this team's this is their thing. You know, like, so usually the averages start balancing out at that point. I like the Panthers last year. They started 3-0, and now look how it turned out. Agreed. And they just traded Christian McCaffrey, which is crazy. Would you trade Austin Reeves for the right deal? Yeah.
Yeah, for the right deal, but just
would you trade
him just to trade him for him? No.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what's out there. Like, if we could get like a solid rotation guy, like a better contributor on both ends, I would trade Reeves. Like, I don't know. Trying to think of like what would be a good like mid-tier guy, because you're not going to get a ton for Austin Reeves. But like if you could get, I don't know, like if we could get like just to throw out a name, like if we could get PJ Washington, if we could give up, you know, Austin Reeves and like a first for PJ Washington, I would do that. Like, I just think it depends on what it is. It depends on
like a Jordan Poole-ish type player, but
yeah, like
they're not going to trade Jordan Poole.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a guy like I would trade Austin Reeves for like KCP. Because KCP, KCP can play with LeBron and AD. You know what he's gonna bring.
Can he come back, or does he have to wait 1 year before he comes back for Lakers?
Who KCP?
Yeah,
No, he's. Are you thinking? I think you're thinking of Stanley Johnson.
probably.
Stanley Johnson was waived. KCP he's on Denver now, but he was on our bubble team. He was the 3-point shooter.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think the Hornets trade PJ now. I always thought it was either him or Miles Bridges, and thanks to Miles, he has answered that for them. But yeah, I mean that's a good point. I don't necessarily think they will either, but I mean he's been thrown out there enough, and I just think it depends on how bad the Hornets want to tank. Would you rather have K Nunn or Terry? That's a good question. I think they're both kind of the same player.
I'll take Terry.
I believe Nunn is younger.
I think so.
So I would rather have Nunn if he's younger. I'd rather have the younger of the two because they're kind of both the same player. They both kind of offer you the same thing.
Do you think so? You don't think Terry's a little bit more developed?
I mean, he has moments. So Nunn is 27, and then let's see, and I guess the same age. Okay, then I'd take Rozier. I would take Rozier then. I thought Rozier was like 31 now, but he's only 28. So
I think Terry's a little bit more of a hustler and more aggressive.
Yeah, I would take Rozier. I miss the days where you built a team that was ready to brawl, not go partying with other teammates after the game. I agreed. Nuggets are blowing out the Warriors. Yeah, when I was looking at the score earlier, they were up like 17. I traded Russ for a pack of gum and 2 loose cigarettes. Should the Lakers already be worried about losing Lonnie Walker in free agency next summer? I mean, yeah, but that was kind of always the intention. I don't know. I think it depends. I don't think they should already be worried, but I think it's something that they should kind of keep an eye on, kind of gauge.
He put some big numbers for us this year. Then I would be worried.
Yeah.
I think it goes on performance, honestly.
Do you think Miles Bridges gets a contract this year or next? No, I don't. I think I wouldn't be shocked if he never comes back to the league. Yeah, Miles Bridges is done. I think so too. I just think especially the NBA. Like if this was the NFL, yes, he'd probably be back next week. But it's the NBA, and the NBA has done a better job over the years of like just kicking players out of the league. And I don't think any teams or organizations would want to take Miles Bridges. I just don't think they would. Always turnovers low. All right. Nets need big man. They should trade for Capella. Yeah, they do. But that's also why I think we could probably get Kyrie Irving, because you could probably trade. You could probably work out a 3-team deal. Because, look, the Lakers were willing to give up both first-round picks from Kyrie Irving. So if you could give up both first and land Kyrie Irving, doesn't matter where it goes. So, if you could trade a first for Miles Turner straight up and then trade a first with, Miles Turner for Kyrie Irving, then cool. I think you do that. Will there be a Laker tax for trades this year? I don't think so. I mean, I do think that there is a Lakers tax, but come around trade deadline, I don't think there will be, because I think teams are just going to want to unload guys. They're not going to care where. I think, and it's not even just Lakers. I think almost any team that's a buyer, I think you're going to have crazy fire sales. But I do. I think you're going to have a lot of contenders that are going to get some really solid deals, and that no one's going to expect. I think you're going to see a couple Pau Gasol to the Laker type trades, and you're like,
yeah,
what? That makes no sense. And it's if we get Victor, it did, that's
right.
Yeah,
I don't care as long as they got Victor.
I thought it was really funny when the Pacers called the Suns bluff about Ayton. I knew it as soon as they offered him. The Suns were bluffing. Yeah, dude, as soon as the Pacers called their bluff, that was it. The Pacers basically just screwed. I actually think that it was possible. It was very likely. Let me put it like that a Kevin Durant trade would have happened, because they were working on it. They were trying to find 3-team deals. They were trying to do all kinds of stuff. I think sooner or later they would have found it. And I do think the Pacers would have gotten involved. but they just completely ruined everything. Which, to be fair, you could make an argument the Pacers ruined it for themselves too, because the whole rumor, like the whole talks, was that Miles Turner was going to go to the Nets, and Ayton was going to go to the Pacers because the Nets wanted Miles Turner over DeAndre Ayton. So the Pacers, like if the Pacers didn't call their bluff, they probably would have ended up with Ayton, which is pretty interesting.
And who are the Nets going to give up?
The Nets were going to give up Kevin Durant, so KD was going to go to the Suns. You're not getting PJ. No, I was just throwing out a name because that was just a name. Like I said, it was just an example. Like I said, just to throw out a name for the Wade, throw out a name. All right, Jake, put him up. We about to throw hands. Tyler Karev.
Wait, what? Oh, okay, that's the mean mugging.
What do you see happening next season if the Lakers miss the playoffs again this year? Who's coming? Who's going? Etc. That's tough. I think it depends if Kyrie really wants to come or not, like what happens in that situation. I do think regardless, I think the Lakers are going to sign Kyrie Irving if he wants to come.
Yeah.
Just because I think the
Do
Lakers
you think he wants to come?
Yes.
Still.
Yes. I just think one, the Lakers have it like their minds made up already. A lot of the moves that they're making is for it. I mean, now look, if they make a trade that, ends up taking us out of the Kyrie race, then look, I guess they did it. They didn't want Kyrie that bad. But a part
So you think this year is a wash? You think the back office is like this year is a wash?
Yeah.
They know. They're like, whether we make it to the playoffs this year or not, it doesn't really matter.
I could be completely wrong. But I think LeBron James knows, and I think LeBron James has talked to the Lakers and said, "Get me Kyrie as soon as you can. I will write it out." And the reason for this is because the timing in which LeBron James signed his extension, they had a big meeting, and they could have easily done it then. They didn't. They waited another week for everything to unfold. Everything happened literally at like the same time, as soon as like LeBron signed. Yeah. I think the Lakers said, we need you to commit. If you commit, we will, whenever we can get Kyrie Irving, we'll go get Kyrie Irving. But you're probably going to have to wait on this. You're probably going to have to ride it out this season. And I think he said, okay. Because if LeBron, this is LeBron James we're talking about. LeBron James is notorious for putting pressure on organizations to go make a deal. And it's just kind of weird that out of all the seasons, it is year 20. He's not putting any pressure on the Lakers at all. No, he's not telling the Lakers, I need you to go trade everybody and go get me, a better, I need you to put a better team around me right now. Like, this team isn't going to work. This team sucks. Like, LeBron has done that every place he's gone, put immense pressure. Even years that they've won a championship, he's put pressure on the organizations to make moves, to make a deal, to make a trade. And I do think the Lakers would if LeBron was putting pressure on him. I think they have like a backdoor deal, because I think if anyone would know, it would be LeBron James.
Okay.
So again, I could be completely wrong. Put my tinfoil hat on. There's my conspiracy theory for the day. But I do. I think LeBron James knows Kyrie wants to come, and I think that I don't think the Lakers. I also think that's why the Lakers don't want to give up both firsts, because I think the Lakers want a first to move off of whatever they have to in order to get Kyrie Irving. So for example,
Question for you. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, for example, go ahead.
Do you think? Hold that thought. Do you think that it's going to show in his play though?
For who, LeBron or Kyrie?
Yeah, LeBron.
LeBron.
Do you think that he knows in his mind, realistically? Now, obviously, we hope they make it to the playoffs, finals, championship. But do you think in his mind he's thinking, okay, in all reality, we might not make it this year. So yeah, let me go ahead and just kind of take it easy this year, because he's trying to make sure he doesn't get injured. X, Y, and Z.
I don't necessarily think that. I think he's more. I think he has his eye on the scoring title more than he has his eye on a championship.
Yeah.
Like, I think he wants to pass Kareem more than he does winning a championship this year. And a great example is the Warriors game. Like I felt like in the third quarter, LeBron was like, "Well, I might as well just go get my points." Like
Yeah.
that's just kind of how he played, like in the back end of that game. But what I was gonna add too is that, like for example, like the Buddy Hield and Miles Turner deal.
Yeah.
I think the Lakers would probably, in most situations, would probably trade both first. I don't think they should, but I think the Lakers would trade both
Yeah.
first for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. I think the reason they want to keep a first is because if Kyrie comes, they need to move off of Buddy Hield. So, like, if they, so like, let's say they do the Buddy Hield and Miles Turner trade, right? Boom.
Yeah.
If they do it for both first, they're screwed. They can't. There's no way for them to get Kyrie Irving. But
Yeah.
if they do it for one first, Miles Turner is a free agent. So if Kyrie wants to come, they can let Miles Turner walk. And
Yeah.
then, but the problem is they're maxed out of cap space because they have Buddy Hield. So
Yeah.
how do you move off of Buddy Hield's contract? Well, Buddy Hield is an expiring $20 million contract or whatever. And if you have a first, there are plenty of teams that'll take Buddy Hield's expiring contract for a first round pick, especially the Lakers in 2029 or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think that's why and again, just my own personal conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat on, like just my own thing. But I think the Lakers and LeBron James have kind of like a spit in a handshake deal of like, I need you, if you can make the team better this year, make it better this year. But I want you to get me Kyrie Irving. That's what I think.
Okay.
Here, last two questions, then we'll get on out of here. I think the Western Conference is the Warriors to lose. I agree. Actually, I agree with you. And if you can possibly react to it on live, it's like 20 seconds long. I don't remember what that was to.
React to.
I'm trying to find his last comment.
Same. The argument I heard for the Russ Booth thing was that, yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to be more specific. But anyway, in the meantime, like I said, leave a comment on my channel, and I'll get to it. But in the meantime, I appreciate y'all so very much for hanging out with us. We're gonna skate on out of here. You beautiful people are awesome. We appreciate you. If you're not subscribe to the channel. If you haven't liked this video, like this video. Any parting words, Jake? Anything else you want to say before we get on out of here?
No. Again, I'm like I said, I'm still excited for the season. Like I said, it's nothing to be concerned about. It's 2 games.
Oh, Idris live recent post. I don't know why it didn't pop up. It's a LeBron thing. Oh, it's good. If you try to post links in the comments, it won't let you. If you're trying to post like a link for me to like check out, it will. YouTube won't let you. Great show, guys. Thank you. But anyway, yeah. Again, thank you all so very much. We do appreciate you. We will see you on Monday.
Yep.
So
Monday.
yeah. Hopefully, Lakers get the win on Sunday. We'll definitely talk
Absolutely.
about it. Definitely talk about it on Monday. See you guys in the next.